Right, you guys. Picture this, and it's kind of gross, but stick with me. A 14-year-old McDonald's burger just hanging out, forgotten. And the wild part, it still looks edible. It's both amazing and terrifying, right? That's
Mhm.
the power of preservatives, and it's where we're kicking off today's deep dive.
It's pretty wild when you think about it. It makes you wonder what our bodies are really dealing with, trying to break down this modern food.
No kidding. So much more to it than just fitting into our genes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about what's lurking in our own kitchens. First up, yogurt. I'm talking about that Yup late, the kind that always seems to be on sale. You think you're making a healthy choice, but
Yeah, the yogurt aisle can be a minefield, that's for sure.
no kidding. Some of those have more sugar than a bowl of Lucky Charms.
It's those added sugars that really do the damage, not the naturally occurring kind you find in dairy.
So not all sugars are created equal, huh?
Definitely not. These added sugars, they're sneaky, like a Trojan horse for your gut.
And what about those labels that tout probiotics? Are those not helping?
Well, the pasteurization process, the thing that gives yogurt that super long shelf life, it often wipes out a lot of the good bacteria.
So you're basically getting a sugar rush disguised as a health food.
Mm-hmm.
Bummer. And sadly, this added sugar thing, it's like a broken record, right?
Right.
It pops up everywhere. Next on the list, wheat bread.
Well,
The healthy choice.
right. Everyone thinks brown bread equals nutritious. Classic case of the health halo effect.
For sure. But here's the kicker. A lot of those wheat loaves, even the healthy ones, are packed with high fructose corn syrup. There's like this hidden enemy.
It's everywhere, and it's a silent epidemic, honestly. High fructose corn syrup messes with your body's ability to regulate hunger.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Wait, are you saying it tricks your stomach into thinking it's empty even when it's not?
Exactly. It's like messing with the wiring of your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin. Your tank could be full, but your gauge is telling you it's empty.
So you just keep craving more and more. That explains so much. Like those cereal bars that are always calling my name, even though I know they're not exactly health food.
They get you with that healthy packaging and the promise of energy, right? But those bars are designed to give you a quick spike and then a crash, just fueling the cycle.
It's a digestive roller coaster, and not the fun kind. Speaking of roller coasters, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, the ingredient that makes even sugary yogurt look like health food.
Oh, you're going there. All right. You must mean Olestra. Or sometimes it goes by Olean.
You got it. If listeners thought the last few foods were bad, this is next level. It's marketed as this miracle fat substitute, but it's banned in a bunch of other countries for a reason. Spill the tea. What is the deal with Olestra?
Okay, so Olestra is what's called a fat substitute. You'll find it in those fat-free chips, promising guilt-free snacking and all that. Problem is, your body can't actually digest it.
Okay, hold up. What happens when you eat something your body can't digest? Asking for everyone listening.
It's not pretty. Let's just say Olestra takes a wild ride through your digestive system and it doesn't leave things as it found them. We're talking about digestive upset. It can even block vitamin absorption.
And people think this is the healthy option. Seriously.
It's the perfect example of why we can't just blindly trust those health halos. We got to be label detectives. Knowing what's really in our food is more important now than ever before.
So this is kind of a lot to take in, isn't it? It makes me want to ditch processed food altogether.
Hang on, don't swear off everything just yet. There's a better way. We just got to find a way to work with our bodies instead of against them?
Okay, working with our bodies. I like the sound of that. But what does that actually look like? Realistically, with everything we've just talked about.
It's a shift in mindset, really. Moving away from those restrictive diets that just leave you feeling deprived.
Oh, tell me about it. Been there, done that, have the t-shirt, and the weight gain to prove it.
It's a cycle a lot of us know all too well, right? But a lifestyle approach, that's about making sustainable changes. It's about feeling good from the inside out, not just how your clothes fit. And it starts with the gut.
Okay, so less about banning food groups and more about, like, giving our bodies what they need to thrive, starting with digestion.
Exactly. Giving your body the tools it needs to function optimally.
I'm all for having the right tools. So what kind of tools are we talking about?
Well, you send over some great examples, things we call natural helpers.
Natural helpers. Okay, I'm intrigued. That's way more appealing than fat-free chips, that's for sure.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. These are natural ingredients, many of which have been used for centuries to support digestion and promote well-being.
All right, lay it on me. What are these natural helpers all about?
Remember those preservatives we talked about earlier?
Oh, how could I forget? That forever young McDonald's burger seared into my brain.
Right. Well, there are natural ways to combat those preservative foes. One of them is digestive enzymes.
Digestive enzymes. Okay, those sound familiar. But don't our bodies make enzymes already?
They do, but things like the modern diet, stress, even just getting older, can slow down our natural production. So that's where supplementing comes in.
Like backup singers for our gut.
Exactly. And you don't want just any backup singers. We're talking a blend of enzymes that can tackle carbs, proteins, and fats.
All right, so a triple threat of digestive power. What are the key players we should know about?
So we've got amylase. That one's crucial for breaking down carbohydrates.
Which, let's be honest, seem to be in just about everything these days.
Yeah, pretty much. Then there's lipase, which works on fats.
The good, the bad, and the deep fried.
You got it. And finally, bromelain. That one comes from pineapple, and it helps us break down proteins.
Bromelain. It's like a tropical vacation for your gut.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got digestive enzymes covered, fighting preservatives, helping us absorb nutrients. What's next on the natural helpers list?
Let's talk about probiotics. Remember that Candida overgrowth we mentioned earlier?
Oh, right. That sugar-loving fungus that's throwing a party in our gut. Not the fun kind of party.
Well, probiotics are like sending in the bouncers. They restore balance and show those unwanted party guests the door.
So the good bacteria army, fighting the good fight.
Exactly. Probiotics help crowd out the harmful bacteria, reduce inflammation, and they even support our immune system.
That's incredible. These tiny little organisms can have such a big impact on our health. It's amazing.
It is pretty incredible. And you know, one of the most interesting areas of research right now is the gut-brain connection. Studies are showing that those bacteria in our gut can even influence our mood, our sleep, and yes, even our cravings.
Wait, are you serious? So those sugar cravings I get, that might not just be my sweet tooth, but maybe an imbalance in my gut bacteria.
It's a fascinating area, and more research is definitely needed, but the early evidence is pretty compelling. It seems like certain types of harmful bacteria actually thrive on sugar. And get this, they can send signals to the brain that make you crave even more sugar.
Oh, wow. So it's like a vicious cycle then, right? The more sugar we eat, the worse it gets.
Yeah, exactly. It's complex, but knowing this about our gut bacteria can be empowering. It's not just about willpower. It's about creating the right environment in our gut for healthier choices.
Okay, that's a game changer. Instead of just battling those cravings with willpower, we can actually support our gut.
You got it. It's working with your body, just like we talked about.
And this is where our friend caroluma fimbriata comes in. That natural craving crusher you mentioned. Tell me more about this magical cactus.
It really is a remarkable plant. In India, it's been used for centuries, actually, as a natural appetite suppressant, especially during times of famine.
Wow, really? So it helped people feel full even when food was scarce. That's amazing. I can see why that would be helpful today, even with more than enough food around.
I agree. And unlike a lot of those appetite suppressants out there, caroluma fimbriata, it seems to work in a more gentle way.
Okay, but how does it work exactly? What's the science behind it?
So we're still learning about the exact mechanisms, but it seems that caroluma fimbriata might actually influence the neurotransmitters in the brain, especially the ones related to hunger.
So it's kind of sending signals to our brain that say, we're good here, no need to eat the pantry.
Exactly, like turning down the volume on those hunger signals.
That is so cool. It's like giving our willpower a helping hand. Love it.
And while caroluma fimbriata is really promising for weight management, it's not a magic bullet, of course.
Right. It's all about that holistic approach we talked about, right?
100%. It's about those healthy habits. Whole foods, movement, stress management, good sleep. It all matters.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got digestive enzymes, probiotics, this amazing caroluma fimbriata. That brings us to our final natural helper, the one and only green tea extract.
Green tea extract, or EGCG if we're getting technical, it's kind of like that friend who's good at everything. Not only does it give you that boost of energy, but it's a powerhouse antioxidant as well.
Right. And antioxidants, they're the ones fighting those free radicals.
Yeah.
I know they're good, but I've never quite understood how they're good.
Well, imagine free radicals like rust on a car. Over time, rust can really damage things, right? Antioxidants, they're like rust protectants for our bodies. They neutralize those free radicals, protect our cells.
Okay, so it's like we're building a shield against those little troublemakers.
Exactly. And when it comes to weight management specifically, EGCG has another trick up its sleeve.
Don't tell me. It also helps us burn fat. Seriously, what can't this stuff do?
You got it. It boosts metabolism, meaning your body burns calories faster even when you're just relaxing.
Okay, that in itself is impressive. But you mentioned something earlier that was even more remarkable. Something about EGCG making it harder for fat cells to form in the first place. Did I hear that right?
You did. It's one of the reasons green tea extract has gotten so much attention for weight management. We're still learning, of course. But some studies show that EGCG might actually block the formation of new fat cells.
Wow. So not only does it help burn fat, but it might even help prevent new fat cells from forming. That is next level stuff.
It's pretty incredible. And while we're always learning more about how these natural helpers work on their own, what's really exciting is how they work together.
That's what I love about this whole approach. It's not about one magic ingredient, it's about supporting our bodies in a holistic way.
Exactly. Which is what makes these comprehensive supplements so interesting, wouldn't you say?
Totally. And speaking of which, earlier you mentioned that I had sent over some information about a supplement called BioX4.
Yeah.
BioX4. This one really caught my eye. It's not just another one of those weight loss pills, is it? It feels different.
It's definitely taking a different approach. Instead of quick fixes, BioX4 is more about supporting your body's natural processes, just like we've been talking about.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
Now,
So it's combining those four natural helpers, the digestive enzymes, the probiotics, the caroluma fimbriata, and green tea extract, all in one place.
that's the idea. It's about making it easier to get those benefits without having to juggle a million bottles.
Convenience and powerful support. Sign me up. And it seems like they're really focused on quality and transparency too, which I love.
Those are important factors for sure, especially in the supplement world. You want to know what you're putting in your body.
100%. No more mystery ingredients. But honestly, after all this, part of me is like, where do I even start?
It can feel overwhelming. That's totally understandable. But the most important step is awareness, right? Just knowing what we've talked about today is huge.
Totally. Knowing what's really in our food, how our bodies react to it, that's powerful.
Absolutely. You're not powerless in all of this. This deep dive, it's about arming yourself with information so you can make the best choices for your health.
Oh, I love that. It's about taking control, right?
Yes. So if there's one thing you take away from today, let it be this. Your body is amazing. It wants to be in balance. And when you support it in the right ways, it can do incredible things.
So well said. It's like we've got these ancient traditions like caroluma fimbriata and then cutting-edge discoveries like what we're learning about EGCT. It's about finding what works for you, right?
It's about finding that balance.
I love that. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive, but what an incredible journey. We've uncovered some pretty shocking truths about what's lurking in our food, but we've also explored some really empowering solutions.
It's about taking that knowledge and putting it into action, one healthy choice at a time.
Couldn't agree more. And listeners, keep those questions coming, keep those digestive systems happy, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.